Today I'm going to show you how to set up your canvas for the Kaleidoscope painting, that radial symmetry color scheme painting you're going to be working on. It does have 16 equal sections, and I will show you how to divide up your paper to get these 16 pieces. Step one, you need a ruler, you need a compass, and you're gonna need a pencil, preferably with a good eraser, just in case you make mistakes. We're gonna start by dividing our paper in half diagonally. So you're gonna take your ruler, line it up with one corner on one side and opposite corner on the other. So you have two equal triangles. And we're gonna draw lightly with our pencil to mark off that subsection, okay? You're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Line up one corner on top, opposite corner on the bottom, and then sketch out your line connecting those two corners. You should have an X through your paper that looks like this. For the next step, we are going to measure. We're going to use our ruler to measure the distance across and find the halfway point, which should take us through this central point right here, okay? So your artwork is going to be 8 by 8 inches. It's a square. So on the bottom edge, I'll have my ruler up a little bit so you guys can see it. I'm starting at the 0 line. Some rulers start here at 0 at the very front of the ruler. Other rulers have a 0 line. Like this ruler right here has a line to represent where to start measuring from. This is a 0 line versus this one doesn't have a line. The front of the ruler is 0. So you need to find where 0 is on the ruler that you're using. Is it a line or is it the very front of the ruler? In this case, it's the very front. So I'm gonna line up the very front of the ruler with the front of my canvas here. And the back should line up at 8, right? Because it's 8 inches across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, perfect. I'm gonna make a mark at 4 inches, okay? I'm gonna rotate my canvas. So now that mark is on the top. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm gonna line up my ruler with the front of my canvas and the back. I'm gonna make a mark at 4 inches. And now I'm gonna connect these 2 points through the center. So I'm gonna take my ruler, line it up with the points I made, checking to make sure that it travels through the center of my X. Looks good. And then I'm gonna sketch a line connecting those 3 points, just like that. I'm gonna turn my canvas and I'm gonna do the same thing on these edges now. So 0 and 8. Okay, looking good. Rotate. 0 and 8. Right. Connect my 2 dots through the center point. Looks good. Draw my line. Okay, so now I have 8 sections here, 8 triangles that are equal. I need to get to 16. Okay, so this is where it gets a little bit challenging. You're gonna need your compass. Okay, this is a compass. This is always where the center of our circle is gonna be. So we're gonna draw a circle. This part of the compass rotates around the clear part. Okay, compasses can look like a lot of different things. These are the compasses that we have in our classroom. This is where you put your pencil to draw the circle, okay? So while this point remains still, this rotates so that you can draw a circle using these holes, okay? So we're gonna start with the center of our square here and the center of our compass. We're going to put the center of the square where all of these points meet, right in the middle circle of our compass, and I want you to put your finger down nice and tight on that circle. Okay, you are going to draw a circle. It doesn't matter how big or small the circle is. The circle doesn't need to stay. It doesn't need to be permanent. We're just using it to help us do some math to get the center of these triangles. So I'm going to start with a 2-inch radius here. That means from here to here, it'll be 2 inches. And I'm going to sketch my circle. Sometimes these can be a little tricky, but you want to keep that center part as still as possible so your compass is able to make it all the way around. Now we need to find the center of each of these triangles. How we're going to do that is very similar to the process we just did. We're going to take this central point on our compass and we're going to line it up with each of the points where our circle intersects one of the lines we made, okay? So these points right here. I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna take my center, line it up with that point, and I'm going to pick a dot. This is the same dot I'm gonna use for all of these measurements, okay? I started with a 2-inch radius. I'm gonna use that one again. That's this dot right here, okay? It might be helpful if you could see it, but it's this one, okay? I'm gonna put my pencil in and I'm just gonna draw a light line to create part of a circle. You do not have to use you don't have to make a whole circle, okay? Just a mark will do because we're really gonna be creating an X. All right, once we've got our first mark drawn, we're gonna go to the other side of our shape. So this triangle right here, we're finding the center point. So I need this point and this point. I'm gonna line up the center part of my compass with that point, and on the same exact dot that I used, so that 2-inch radius, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna make a little mark. Ta-da, there's my X. So I know that I'm gonna be dividing this triangle through this point, okay? Let's repeat that process all the way around. Center point on the edge, 2-inch radius. Oops, kind of moved around a little bit. Other side. So here, edge, 2-inch radius. Over here, 2-inch radius. Here, 2-inch radius. Here, 2-inch radius. All right, so I've got all of the points marked to divide each of these 8 triangles in half to create 16 pieces. So now we're going to line up our ruler through these points. They should also pass through the center and then into another triangle on the other side. So I'm gonna line up here, here, and here. That looks great. I'm going to sketch my line. I'm going to move on to the next one, here, here, and here. Here, here, and here. And here, here, and here. This one looks a little bit off. Let me try that again. There we go. Edit this one. All right, so now I have my 16 equal pieces for my kaleidoscope design. In the next video, we'll be getting into designs you can try and things to consider when creating the designs for your kaleidoscope.